Thank you for sharing your self-made story. I'm dying to hear your story because you're a young woman in gaming. I'm obsessed with gaming, so I want to hear more about it. I want to go back to the beginning. Tell me where you were born and how in God's name did you do all this?
So I was born in China, and then I moved to South Africa when I was young. So I grew up in South Africa.
Wow.
Then eventually made my way to the East Coast.
At what age did you move to the East Coast?
For college. So I went to Yale, and that's where I met my co-founder. She loves games. And we couldn't find a lot of things that we loved.
For women or for girls?
Or just who's making these games and apps on phones. We can't find anything good to play. That's when we were like, oh, okay, we can make these things. It'll be really fun for us to do, and there's just a whole market out there that no one's catering to.
Were your parents the type that said to you, go to college and become a doctor or do something?
Oh, yeah. They were like, Morgan Stanley. Like, why don't you go consulting? They were very disappointed when I started doing this gaming thing.
What were the signs that sort of you start putting the puzzle together of what you're going to do?
I liked doing my own thing and creating things that don't exist. Fun things that are visual that can like impact a lot of people. And then when I went to college, I created this campus-wide TV show. That was a disaster. I mean, it's always like the first time you do something and it's like you don't really know what you're doing. Same with this gaming company. If you keep at it, eventually you get better and better.
And how did you go from that to deciding we're going to invent a company? Because that's not a natural pathway to entrepreneurship.
So I think about death a whole lot. And so if you think about death a whole lot, you're just like, well, I'm just going to die anyway, so I might as well try this, Or like, I don't have much time left. So it's like, what do I want to do in the very small amount of time that I have?
You have to think of yourself as 85 and dying.
Exactly. I think about that all the time. I'm like, okay, what do I want to say before I die?
And what were you doing in LA when you finished school?
I wanted to get a lay of the land of what the entertainment industry was about. And I knew LA was the center of creativity and cultural impact and all, like everything that I want to be at the center of. It was LA.
Okay, so tell me how the whole thing came to be, this business.
Let's see.
Was it during college or after?
No, it was after. And we moved out to LA and we were roommates in LA.
And what were you doing in LA when you finished school?
I worked at the William Morris agency, the talent agency.
So did you start at the bottom?
Okay. Yeah, I started in the mailroom.
In the mailroom. So,
I read the book, The Mailroom. It was very exciting. Never think anything is not worth doing well. Anything that you do well could lead you to amazing things.
So then you go from mailroom to floater. Let's explain what a floater does.
Is your assistant needs an assistant like you.
You're like a substitute teacher.
Yeah,
You're a substitute assistant.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience that started making you think, I want to do something else?
So I was in TV. So I started trying to go to tech and digital conferences. And that's when I noticed the people that attend are pretty homogenous. It's very male dominated.
Okay, so now you guys are beginning to think nobody's making content for this particular group of women, right? Mm-hmm. And how do you go from there to building a tech company?
The first thing we did was both quit our jobs.
Without knowing where the money was coming?
You have to put your entire body and soul and heart into what you're doing. There's just no going back.
And then what happens?
We learned how to code so that way we can make a prototype. We're like, we'll just show people the prototype and they'll give us money. And like, of course, that is not how it happens.
So how did you finally raise the money?
I was like, let's go where there's more money and investors and gaming. And so I went to China where I knew 4 people who were kind of related to tech. One was a Yale alumni.
Now you go to China.
Yes.
And you're on no money, and you're meeting these people.
Telling everyone what I need.
And how much money are you asking for at the time?
It's just a couple $100,000.
Hardly anything.
Well, I mean,
no,
that's actually very little compared to what you need.
No, I know. I'm saying,
yeah.
But I think that's a lot to ask strangers.
At the time, yes, it was very daunting. If you are a persistent type of person, an authentic, persistent person, the investors will be able to sense that, and that's who they want to give the money to, because they don't want to give money to somebody and then have them quit after three fails.
By the way, and that's true.
Eventually, I met somebody who had like 500 employees. So he knew from being in the gaming industry how neglected the young woman market is. He liked our product ideas, and so he was like, all right, let me take a chance on you guys.
I mean, how many years did this go on?
Well, I also had some visa issues at the same time.
Oh, because you're a citizen
I'm a South African citizen.
South Africa.
Yes, and it's really hard starting a company in the U.S.
So you had immigration issues.
I had a lot of immigration issues. Yeah, trying to start this company because I didn't really understand gaming or startups, obviously. I think some of them seriously thought I was smoking drugs or something. I needed to get money first so that I could prove that the company was a legitimate company. But in order to get the money, I had to be in the country to meet with investors.
So it was a catch-22.
And in LA, I had kept in touch with him even before I started raising money officially. I called him because I couldn't be in the US. And I was like, Brandon, we don't have a lot of legitimacy right now. I'm trying to raise this round of financing. You would bring the legitimacy into this. So like, would you consider also investing alongside this other person? Once he said yes, between the two of them, the other investors they were like, can we please invest in
And you're
in
doing
us,
all these
right?
calls while you're still in China.
Yes. So once we got the money, then you can start the application for the work visa.
You began this company how many years ago? 4,
That was
right?
4 years ago.
In that first year, what was was it about creating the game?
Yeah. So, I mean, once you get the money, it's like, all right, now you have to launch product.
Well, how did you guys figure out what the product should be? Was it also experimentation?
Yeah, so we actually made a very tiny app called Hot Guy Alarm Clock, which is it's a series of hot sounding guys that wake you up in the morning. And that
I
was our
want that.
first,
That sounds
yeah,
hot.
it's like a cute, funny app. And so that was our first test to be like, let's see, how to make an app and like, can we ship this and like set the tone for the brand. And then
Okay,
you
so
just
what
keep
was the
going.
next one that you did?
Next one was Egg Baby, which is our first game ever.
And what was the concept behind Egg Baby?
Egg Baby, it's big-eyed eggs that hatch into collectible creatures. We didn't really launch. We actually just put it out there on the App Store. And what we wanted was a couple of people to pick it up, just play it, and then we'll see the data on how they were playing it. People found it and then just told other people. So it was just
Word of mouth.
really resonated with teenage girls. Through that, it just spread like wildfire. And then now we have like over 14 million downloads. Never did any
No.
marketing. It's just been word of mouth.
So at what point do you start, when you're doing all these games, you start raising more money?
1 year after Egg Baby launched, that's when we raised the $5 million VC. We really needed to hire more people. And because we had such good numbers on Egg Baby, we were like, this is a good time.
Then you start thinking of other things to launch when you have more staff.
Yes, and we wanted to make more games. But you can't make more games with 4 people or 5 people.
Right.
you
Okay,
know.
so then comes Egg Baby number 2, the second round.
Yes, so this is our next game that's coming out. It's Egg Baby All Grown Up. We've wanted to do a merch for a really long time. Egg is way more polished, way more beautiful than Egg Baby because this is what we always wanted, but we didn't have the tech capacity to do it before. So it's you raise this egg with a friend. You like co-own it with another human, which you can't do in Egg Baby. That's a single player, right? 2 people shape its destiny because it will eventually hatch into something. And then you collect the things that hatch.
Oh, I love that. Something girls like because we like our goodies. So now that you have all these people, what's the goal for the next 5 years?
Actually, we want to expand beyond games, something that's fun and tech related that doesn't have a feminine voice. That's where we want to go.
When you've done this for 4 years, are you living large and are rich?
No, we're so frugal right now.
This is a long-term sacrifice.
Yes, it is a very long-term sacrifice. I'm very goal-oriented. I mean, I write my goals every year for the next year and for like the next decade and all that kind of stuff. And I revisit that, right? Yeah.
I think people think that to go through all this, your obsession is to be rich.
For me, I don't know what it is, but I'm super obsessed with just fun things that can impact people. If I just wanted to be rich, I would have been a banker straight out of Yale. You know,
Right.
that's like the way to do it.
What is it about this life that's worth living versus working for someone else?
Oh, it's amazing. Every day you love what you do every day because you're building towards something that you specifically want. I mean, I'm so happy with our company's culture. We say like magical, colorful, friendly. And that's what the company is right now. I should send you a photo of us in our onesies, we have onesie Wednesdays, first Wednesday of every month where you wear onesies.
What would you say to young women about this as a path?
First of all, just get started. You don't want to think yourself out of starting to, because I pretty much went from like assistant to CEO. But it's totally different. I mean, all of a sudden you could ask other CEOs to meet with you or like talk to you on the phone.
There's kind of a respect that comes with rolling the dice and with being brave. Everybody's afraid of everything they do. So why not be afraid and do something really big?
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to women looking to do what you're doing? What personality type is the person that can do what you do?
You don't have to be the smartest or the most creative or the most anything, but most persistent. You're going to encounter so many obstacles and there's going to be so many times you want to give up, but you just have to keep pushing.
You feel inside your body like you are self-made or you're becoming self-made?
I am definitely in the process. I think I have a lot more to go, but yes, I'm on my way. I think I've made decent progress since like where I started.
I would say you're very self-made.
Thank you.